早晨，早晨啊，李安，早晨啊，阿木，早晨啊，有靈律師，早晨啊，咁多位，我哋好似好耐冇見，早晨啊，早晨啊，咁多位，我哋今日咧要玩一隻好特別嘅遊戲。咁咧，今日咧如無意外，我記得我今日 set 咗今日個直播應該係咩要18歲以上先可以入嚟，冇錯。咁就係因為我哋今日要玩一隻 game，咁就係有好多棒棒嘅 game 啦。咁就因為之前買咗去聯動嗰陣啦，佢哋都話個人即係單機嗰個遊戲個劇情都唔錯，所以諗住今日就去試下啦。好，咁我哋今日就會試下啦。咁另外呢，大家都覺得今日嗰個叫咩呢？今日嗰個直播室有少少唔同咗啦。咁就有兩個壯漢喺前面啦。冇錯，咁嗰兩個壯漢除咗保護我之外啦，即係保護我以免你哋有啲咩不慎嘅發言啦。咁即係例如你哋會諗啲唔知乜嘢喺嗰度啦。跟住又會話咩想摸我朵花嗰啲啦，跟住又或者會有啲咩奇怪執咁樣淺射到我度，咁就唔好啦。咁所以咧，呢兩個保鏢就係今日要嚟保護我啦。跟住同埋佢哋就幫我阻隔嗰啲18歲以下嘅小朋友。佢就係幫我阻隔嗰啲18歲以下嘅小朋友咁樣去進入嚟呢個睇呢個直播咁樣。我突然間諗到樣嘢可以令佢更加似我嘅保鏢，你等我一陣，我試下先，睇下先。咦，我擺咗去邊啊？等等啊，我好快睇係咪喺度先。OK， 冇問題。等等啊！我加多個俾佢先，等等，陣間你哋就睇到噶啦。等等啊！ OK， 搞掂啦！我而家即刻叫嗰啲保鏢show翻佢，證明係我嘅保鏢先。睇下先，咁樣唔夠，要再多啲，要多啲我嘅證明。等等先，等，唔好急，大家唔好急。OK， 搞掂。早晨啊，幽靈律師，早晨啊，木魚，早晨啊，肥狗先生，早晨啊。咩啊？壯漢個頭好似棍，黐線。冇啦，而家遮住咗佢個頭唔會再似棍噶啦。係啦，冇錯。理論上我就有2個半鐘頭先18歲，但係我睇到就人嚟保安同我趕佢走，我未夠18歲，趕佢走。好啦，我轉翻個音樂先。好，咁我哋嚟到啦，呢度飲啖水先，太興奮啦嘛！唔緊要啦，拉上補下就夠18歲，話完全係嗰啲。你唔可以咁樣教壞人哋啊！身為我嘅管理員， 即係你完全係嗰啲誠實申報人哋問你啊，你夠18歲未啊？瀏覽呢個網站，跟住就完全係即刻啊，我夠啦，咁樣就撳入去咁樣，跟住完全係嗰啲嚟，你唔可以咁樣教壞我啲觀眾。睇下先 ，OK， 咁我哋揀 Story Mode 啦，咁我哋就開始啦。我哋係 New Game。咁我哋開始啦。其實我 YouTube 嗰邊係誠實申報年齡，但係唔知點解佢俾我睇，佢咪就係計年份，佢唔計月份嗰啲啊，唔計月份，唔計日子。好核突啊！嗰啲聲好核突啊！Go to the top. Go to the bottom. Okay. Knock the apple off the tree.我哋等先，我哋加少速先，一個轉彎，哎呀，轉得太快添，等先，唔得嘅，有時好難控制佢呢個，喂，搞掂 ，space bar to pull， 做乜嘢？叫我食咗個蘋果佢，食咗個蘋果佢。等下先，個蘋果已經唔知我入邊啦。等，喺度。嗱，大家唔好諗錯隔離嘢啊嚇。睇下先啊！我哋準備食咗個蘋果佢啦，準備一啖，準備我係繼續，我都好迷茫。如果唔係因為我特別啲相信其他小朋友睇我精神受創，應該唔會嘅。男仔要有嘅都會有噶啦，唔使咁咩噶嘛。可能如果女仔就會精神受創，精神污染咗。等先，轉 pat pat。究竟佢食完蘋果飛出嗰啲係咩嚟㗎？係咪蘋果核嚟㗎咋？定係我諗錯其他嘢？究竟係咪我太多邪惡定係點？OK， go to the sandbox， 去沙灘入邊，去咗啦。之後呢？咩啊 ？No one will ever love you。哇，玻璃啊！out。有時打翻佢。哇！
John woke to the shrill cry of his alarm clock and lay there, rigid.
阿 John 就起咗身啦。原來係發緊夢。
But there was another reason John couldn't get out of bed. It was the weight. A weight that had nothing to do with his muscles or fat or
另外仲有個原因就起唔到身啦，佢就係因為佢嘅重量太重啦。
The invitation to his high school reunion. From across the years, the words he'd heard in the schoolyard were still clear. You're a loser. No one will ever love you.
佢而家咧就係咩啊 ？3 months until out 睇唔切添。 佢而家就係話佢起唔到身太重啊，好似平時卡帕咁樣起唔到身，太重啦，300磅咁樣起唔到身。跟住而家就起身熄咗個鬧鐘佢先啦。out 咗啊！咁樣下就拆咗佢啦。跟住咧，我哋去個刷牙洗面先啦。我哋一定要沖涼，同埋要洗咗嗰啲汗啊！沖涼啦，我哋去。執番梘，我哋執番梘。OK， 洗完啦，我哋就刷牙仔啦。而家度開個水先，係啦，刷牙啦，刷牙。我可以點樣刷牙？我想要支牙刷，唔該。點樣刷牙？OK， 呢個係一個好特別嘅刷牙方式。OK， 好唔緊要㗎，我哋繼續啦。我哋揀件衫着咩色好？哦，着哇正呢個粉紅色小背心。我哋出門口啦。
John had 3 months until the reunion to turn his life around. First, he needed to clean up.
首先我哋就要清理好。哇！有曱甴，嚇！做乜嘅
？The only reason he'd ordered so much takeout was because Delilah, the delivery peen, made John feel butterflies in his testicles.
好正常嘅，大家可能未見過呢啲事件，但係我可以話俾大家聽係都正常嘅，其實係正常㗎，係啦咁就唔好諗太多，係啦。係正常㗎，係啦
John called it his study, but it was basically for games and porn. Mostly porn.
呢個繼續，冇俾我停。 我哋洗碗係啦，咁閂埋佢啦都好，打爛埋啦 ，OK， 洗咗啦，咁就有逼。
John suddenly realized the time. Distracted by his new drive to improve his life, he had become late. He needed to hurry, or he'd miss the bus to work.
要返工啦，快啲出門口啦，咁我哋。
John had left his apartment late, but if he caught the express bus, he might make it to work on time.
喂，行
John
開
didn't
啊！
really like his job, but it had two qualities in its favor. One, he could pay his rent, and two, Barbara. Currently John's top candidate for his reunion date. John noticed a moderately attractive peen waiting at the stop. He tried to start a conversation
我要同佢
and
講
did
嘢。
not get the reaction he'd hoped for. It was probably because he was a minimum wage peen.
佢一個
She could probably sense it.
佢一個攞緊好 basic salary 嘅姑姑。OK， 我哋上車先。好，
The office
我哋返到去
hummed
啦。
with cold fluorescent lighting. The air was cold and stale, lifeless. How long had John worked
究
here?
竟
Long enough to deserve
究竟阿
better.
John 喺度做咗幾耐嘢咧？佢就長到佢已經説可以唔係，自己開先啦。我入邊，哇！
John was late, but he felt daring. He could sneak into the office through the archives, or he could stroll
Archives.
through the front entrance with enough confidence to bluff his boss.
遲到梗係唔好同人講
John
啦，
decided to creep in through the archives.
遲到我梗係慢慢數翻去。早晨啊，早早。早晨啊，早 compa 早。哇！流血，唔建議啊！呢個係卡法啊，上梗唔係啊，黐線！喂，等陣先，唔建議開門。
Despite the obvious flaws, John thought it was a good plan and not a recipe for humiliation.
廿啤，點解會有個死咗喺度嘅咩？誒，呢個開唔到門。OK。哇，好痛！冇錯，佢流晒血。哇！
Everyone else was hard at work, grinding away. John might actually get away with this.
做緊嘢啊，老細。佢
The boss.
OK
He homed in on John, deluging him with spit and buzzwords.
做緊嘢。
The boss ran out of synonyms for John's failings and gave him an ultimatum. Barbara would definitely not be interested in dating John if he was unemployed. He had to get to the quality assurance department.
我一定要去 QC 啊，係嘛？係咪要做 QC？
There might be a faulty dildo just waiting to cost the company millions in lawsuits. John would have to test them all. 冇打咩？嗰日傾叫我掃街走先，唔緊要啊你，下次再嚟啦，一年先，再見啦，公拍。呢個係英文叫 dildo 啦，咁其實佢係一個咁就其實都唔使講噶啦，一陣間就會明噶啦。 Every atom of John's rectum began to vibrate with the frequencies of pure pleasure. His orifice was a paradise. This vibrator would end all wars. It was good. Prostate Pounder X900 series, the most advanced vibrator on the market. Sweet mother of no, John, that's too much pleasure for one anus to handle.
有病！有病！
John's butt hurt, but his heart was proud. If that vibe had gotten out into the world, it would have injured a customer as badly as it had ravaged his anus. The boss arrived and congratulated John on taking one for the team and jumping on the hand grenade, or in this case, putting it up his butt.
我哋咪要
John
爆
was
炸
having trouble following the conversation because he was quite high on suppository painkillers. And then the boss said,
好似佢丁字夫咁 promotion 啊！我哋升職喎，多謝老細，多謝老細，
and ignoring his
多謝老
minor
細，
faults like
多謝老
lack
細
of，constant
多謝老
lateness
細。
and flatulence.
哦，老細走咗，好嘢，升職加人工
John's new office smelt like polished wood and success.
，make the space
John's
for your
success.
own。哦，OK，我哋擺
Sam
啲擺
dropped
錢
by.
喺度
He'd
，OK。
heard John had been hurt. John said he was fine. He wasn't a softie to complain about a mildly ruptured rectum. Besides, he had a promotion to
promotion
celebrate.
celebrate，
John had met Sam in college during a sports ball game. He'd given him some stiff competition.
你唔係諗住可以入到個波啊？冇咁容易，哇！喂喂喂喂喂喂，咁霸道嘅你行開，你俾我你係啦係啦，行你嗰邊啱啦啱啦，乖啦。好，
Not stiff enough. They'd started at Flesh Corp product testing together. Nothing builds a friendship like a long day of dildo mountain. Yes, John had known Sam for a while. But John couldn't hang
Okay.
out with Sam. He had a reunion to prepare for. He was going out with
我哋要
Barbara
揾
tonight.
Barbara。
He just had to ask her.
OK，再見啦 Sam。
Everyone was quiet, listening to the presentation. A good moment for John to ask Barbara out.
Barbara 係邊個啊？呢個？
That's not Barbara, John.
哦，呢個唔係。咁呢個？
Nope.
又唔係呢個。哎呀，行開先啦！哎呀哎呀，
Warmer. John was working his way to Barbara.
係咪呢個啊？唔係呢個都，咁呢個啦。係咪你？
Barbara agreed. Well,
耶，OK，
sort of.
玩到出
Really
煙，
going John's way.
佢爆炸咯，佢唔係出煙咁簡單咯。
John tried to act as suave as possible and listen to Barbara talk business. He didn't want to blow his chances at long-term love and short-term sex. Barbara began to talk about monthly feedback figures, and John started to zone out, imagining him and Barbara at the reunion, a power couple. She would make his classmates sick with envy, if he could get her to tone down the boring chatter. John's balls were gripped by certainty. Barbara was the perfect date for the reunion.
Show off your skill behind the bar.
John thought he would impress Barbara by going behind the bar and showing the bartender a thing or two. Despite Barbara's protests that it was unnecessary, John knew that a true gentleman should follow her home. He was excited. There was still 3 months until the reunion, and he'd already landed his perfect date. All he had to do was seal the deal. Barbara thanked John for the evening and politely did not invite him inside for coffee or sex, even though John dropped some pretty obvious hints he'd be into both, or just the sex. The door slammed on John's hopes. He didn't understand. He'd laughed at all Barbara's pie chart jokes. He'd listened to her boring stories. The blank eyes of the lawn flamingos were witnesses to John's shame.
咩嚟㗎？呢個係呀啤！好啦，我哋走啦咁。既然佢唔俾我哋入屋企嘅話，咁都冇辦法啦，我哋離開啦咁。
John began the lonely walk home, thoughts tumbling like shoes in a dryer. He had done everything wrong. Barbara had led him on just to humiliate him.
Oh.
John felt empty. How could he get love?
幾時先可以有愛啊？
He felt like he was missing something, some key to attracting sex. But John was shooting blanks. What did Peens want?
佢要啲乜嘢？ Pizza 唔係。
Then it hit John out of nowhere. Stuff. He had the success. He just needed to show it off.
Need more stuff. 要多啲嘢，明白？慘，冇錯，好慘啊！
Where was John going to get all the stuff he wanted? John needed a sign.
咦 ？OK。
A new day, a new John. He waited outside his local buttload store for it to open, eager to spend his promotion bonus on stuff. The best way to impress women.
要等，哦，即係我哋買名牌包包俾佢啊！撳錢啊！我哋去。
If it was buttloads of stuff John wanted, then he would need buttloads of cash. There's nothing like a rectum full of money to make a peen feel like a man.
冇錢啦已經，啱啱已經撳晒3沓錢出嚟，咁我哋去買包包啦。棘住咗。
Suddenly it occurred to John that he was going to make a lot of choices. And every one of those choices would tell the world who he was. Did he want cheese or sausage?
哇！要邊個好咧？唔夠位過。啊！要搶定係要芝士好？搶啊！
Delicious. Also delicious. How could John decide?
冇錯
Just so Moorish.
冇錯，小孩先作出選擇㗎。我哋啲全部入得嚟都夠18歲嗰啲， 唔使選擇㗎，直接就揀晒佢。
What would a date think when they sat in John's home? Comfort or style?
梗係呢個啦。
John went with comfort. Plus, it matched the couch he already had. John weighed up all the differences, but this was a tough choice.
有咩唔同啊？唔買啦電視，唉，算啦，買個啦，求其啦。
John chose the extremely, obviously bad TV.
吓，我中意跳字鐘多啲。
John realized that it was only 2 months and 29 days until the reunion.
剩翻2個月29日啫。
Time flies. Cactus or rose? Was John a rugged hero or a romantic?
梗係你要識女仔，梗
If
係要
John
買
grew his own
呢個
flowers,
啦。
then he'd save on romantic gestures in the long run.
咦？咁貓貴啲㗎啦。
There was nothing John could take with him to the grave.
咁買個平啲嘅咯。控制唔到，OK。
Except his coffin. John liked to get his pizza delivered. That way he could see Delilah, the delivery peen. She always made him smile.
等下先，呢個係咪成就嚟㗎？攞先。
John knew that Delilah thought pineapple on pizza was an abomination.
冇錯啊。
What bedding would Delilah prefer? John couldn't help wondering.
睇下先。咩啊？I'm step bro， 喂有啤呢個，你真係好有啤啊呢個。木魚你好有啤啊呢個，呢個唔得㗎，唔可以咁
Regular
講㗎。
sheets, just like
Moi
the regular
kamga.
pizzas he regularly ordered. Devoid of any sense of style, buying new clothes would be John's toughest challenge.
直接就買450蚊衫。
He bought an outfit without trying it on. It was a hula skirt. I thought you should know that much. It's not flattering.
哦，有啤。
Music, the food of love. Should John go retro sophisticated or just retro?
呢個正啊！
John was sure he could just pirate extra records. Every can was made of metal, pulled from the bones of the earth, wrestled to the surface and smelted in roaring furnaces. All so John could buy peas preserved in salty water and stick them up his butt.
呼呼呼！好啦，就呢個啦，就攞完之後啊，我買啦咁啊。跟住哇，有
John's
啤。
new purchases were on the way to his apartment. All he had to do was invite a date over. One look at all his stuff, and they'd be overwhelmed with sexual desire. John felt proud. And also hungry.
Hungry
It gave him an idea. He should invite Delilah over for
又
dinner.
有 designer， 又另一個女仔咁快嘅，跟唔上嘅進度添。
John was excited. Delilah was on her way. He just needed to set the mood to romance. John hoped she didn't have allergies.
Candles 仲有。誒，何？OK。
That must be Delilah at the
嚟
door.
啦！
The door opened and there was Delilah. John gulped down his nerves and invited her in.
早晨
John
啦
could， tell that Delilah was impressed by his stuff. It was time to crank up the mood to seduction.
我哋斟啲酒俾我飲先。
John wanted to offer Delilah wine, but he'd already popped his cork. Delilah started looking as nervous as John felt. He assumed it was because she was shy too. They really were compatible. Of course, at the reunion, he couldn't mention Delilah was a delivery peen. That would be embarrassing. Delilah suddenly headed for the door.
冇走啊！
And just like that, John was alone again. Delilah hadn't even looked at his stuff.
入邊
The rejection burned. John felt insignificant. He had everything he wanted. The job, the money, the stuff. So much stuff.
呀！點解我追唔到女仔？
Shove it into the
點解啊？
Fuck off, inanimate
點
objects.
解啊？點解
His
我
stuff
追
didn't
唔到？
matter. He was a shaft in a machine. A lonely piston
Yeah.
floating away like all the others in his rigid place.
Didn't
Dark
I-
couch.
垃
Nothing
圾！
special about him. Why should Delilah or Barbara or any other peen be interested in dating him? Stupid records. He
呀
was just like everyone else and they could tell. John wanted to be special, but he had to face the numb truth.
垃圾！
And all the money and stuff he'd ever accumulate wouldn't change that. Be gone, boxers! He
走
thought it
啊
would！ make him unique, but it just made him more like everyone else.
走
He
啊！
should leave it all. Get
走
out
啊！
of this little town and go on an adventure.
全部都冇需要嘅嘢，
He
呢
was
啲
a boring
唔知
corporate
噴咩火
drone, but he
熱
didn't
氣啊！佢呢排
He could
要
be
飲清熱號，
exploring jungles and climbing mountains. He could visit the wonders of the world and get his picture taken. Like Peony Island, the unspoiled paradise he'd seen on TV. That was
走
it.
啊！
John had to travel.
我哋而家要去旅行，我哋要散心啦。
Bags packed, John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems. He was leaving it all behind,
OK，check in 咗。
including his luggage. John was so close, he could almost smell the freedom of the skies.
Hello。誒
Security sent John back through the detector.
你做乜嘢係咁喐我 pat pat？走開！喂，試下唔好咁。你教唔教我哋㗎？我哋你行開先好唔好？你唔好咁樣。
John had forgotten he had his nail
What?
clippers with him. He'd have to buy another pair soon, or he'd look ridiculous.
唉，走啦，黐線㗎。
When the acceleration of takeoff had slackened, John felt a sweet relief. He had left his worries on the runway.
喂，有人
He
嘔啊！
was up in the clouds, on his way to adventure.
喂，你前面嗰個唔可以坐得好啲啊！
John's adventure had begun at last, and clearly it was a small world after all, and also a flat one. That was going to piss off the globeheads.
吓，即係點話你啊？喂，我要去第二度。當當當當當當。有俾人咬咗個頭啊！哇，好惡啊！你有啲嘢。我原來我明啦，就吓，我好嘈呢部嘢，點解突然間又俾人吉咗個 pat pat 嘅咧？係咪呢個都可以影相㗎？我做緊啲乜嘢咯？影喺度。 究竟我做緊啲乜嘢啊？放翻佢出嚟啊！黐線㗎！哎又企我啊！走晒添。哦，Hollywood 啊！我哋呢個究竟我而家要做啲咩？睇下先。等等啊！啱啱嗰度影咗相，啊有嚟入邊，放開我啊！我咪要同我哋影相，但係我點樣同我哋影相？我咪食咗佢就得㗎啦。
John was having fun, but something told him he needed to go home. Probably his empty bank account.
冇晒錢啦，我哋返屋企咯。
John was on his way back home. He was out of money, but money can't buy love. What it can buy are the experiences that had made John a more interesting and developed person, with 100 Buckstagram photos to prove it. Finally, everything was going smoothly.
而家所有嘢都好順暢啊！佢話：，OK，我哋
John
返去啦。
felt good to be back on the familiar ground of home, but he would feel better to be on the familiar mattress of
女唔
home.
得咁男啦，男都唔得啊！我唔明點解呢個世界觀唔係得男咩啊？就係得男仔，我都唔知。我都唔明啊！呢個世界觀唔係得男仔咩？冇帶行李唔使啦，你都去旅行散心啫嘛。睇落好痛，俾蛇咬，要揾人啜，有逼。我哋明明冇攞行李嘅，不過唔緊要啦，我哋攞咗先。
Not that one either.
好，我哋攞晒落嚟先。
John really loved a good prick. It took John back to his summer job picking cacti. He hadn't gone back.
哇！啲哇好難控制喎，你可唔可以擺上去？乖啦！你唔好走啊！可唔可以俾翻個行李我？唔該。算啦，我哋唔攞行李啦，走啦。
Ah yes, John's bag was right where he
係
left
我哋
it.
冇攞到，黐線。拜拜。走咯。
Despite John's swell of fresh optimism, traveling was exhausting, and he just really wanted to get home and get some sleep.
OK， 搭巴士。早晨啊 ，Companion， 點解上次講原文咁大，咁啊講可以玩 JJ？ 咁佢隻 game 係得 JJ 啫嘛？咩啊？你講 哇哦！要揾自己個碌卡，我碌卡喺邊啊？有情書啊 ！To her locker， her locker 喺邊啊？係咪呢格？係咪呢格？呢格？喂？啊呢格？咩啊？有冇人會用 effort 啦？哇！哇！又嚟黐線！
Another nightmare. John's stress about getting a date for the reunion was making him think of her.
啊，原來
He
有發
hadn't
我夢
seen
啊
her
佢。
in years. Would she be at the reunion? John shook off the thought. He wasn't a child. He was a fully grown penis.
仲有6個星期就去，就係呢個 reunion 唔記得點讀添，唔記得咗點讀喎。
John's butt started to buzz. Had he left a vibrator up there? Whatever it was, he should get it out.
點樣拎佢走啊？入邊
John's old phone. They really were indestructible. It was Sam calling. He wanted to check in on John. The travel looked fun, but it was so sudden. Was John okay?
佢要過嚟揾我哋啊！
Sam was such a softie, always worrying about feelings. John had only one
佢
feeling,
哋得一個
and it was the
感受，
feeling of being awesome.
就係哇好
He
型
could
啊
drop
咁。
Sam a text, but John was on a mission. The reunion was getting
Reunion
closer,
getting
and he
closer.
had to get a date.
哦，佢一定
Fortunately,
要去。
John knew exactly where to find love.
阿 John 就話俾我哋聽，佢知道喺邊度可以揾到你嘅真愛。嚟啦，真愛，我嚟
John
啦！
held his breath. He was about to meet his match. He had to reassure himself he could do this.
真愛，我
He
嚟
had
啦
a！ good job. He had nice stuff.
最近係咪受到你衝擊？好衝擊啊！今排早晨啊，Kiss 早晨，嚟啦！我哋嚟啦！
On Weena, where all his sexy travel photos would give him the pick of the pack. Hot. Sexy.
Sexy. Yeah.
Nice. Nice shaft.
8 inches or more only. Okay.
Very hot.
Longer and uncut.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
Looks hot.
Yeah.
Please. Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. The pick of the pack.
Yeah.
Yes!
有啦有啦
Had the pick of the pack.
耶！哇，22歲 Amanda，I'm a very dirty
John valued honesty in a date, but he had been expecting a different kind of dirty. A sexy and much more hygienic kind.
哇，佢真係好污糟喎，用 dirty 啊，哇，好核突啦！ Maria, just an ice queen looking for love.
John thought that getting circumcised once was enough.
OK，攞對鞋先。溜冰嚕！咦哎呀！What？ 我唔係有心。
Oh, better put that on ice. It'll be okay, John. Chick sticks cars. I hope.
Lucy, I love a pea with a sense of humor.
After the
佢
reattachment
中意幽默
surgery, the
嘅
doctors had told
幽
John
默
to
嘅
rest.
JJ。
So he did, for 6 hours.
哦，早晨啊，我哋去睇戲啦。OK。啊，唔係睇啲 talk show 嗰啲，棟篤笑嗰種。喂，你行開先好冇？乖。
John was in stitches.
呢個 car 唔識讀。Single mom does anyone like care？即係 kick 啊，睇唔到添。我係攞對花上去先。
Karen had invited John straight over. She was not fooling around. Very exciting.
哇！
And now she
哇
wanted him round the back.
OK，去後邊收到你啦。
Karen let John know that the cake was only for the kids, so was the candy, and the piñata, and that she'd be back in 1 hour.
OK，我會睇住你啲細路噶啦，放心。OK，冇問題。哇！你啲細路好乖啊。OK，睇住咗佢啦，瞓晒覺啦，非常好。Melody 24歲 ，I love 咩啊？呢個 beach picnics and OK，我哋開就飲啊。
John laughed at Melody's hilarious bullfrog story. She was adorable. Everything was going perfect.
全部嘢都好好。哇
John never saw Melody again.
Must be Alpha wear a suit 定係咩啊？
So
睇唔
far,
到添。
Weena had been a parade of weirdos and rejections.
Oh
If the state
suit，
didn't
哦
work
suit
out,
有
John
蟲，
vowed
冇
to
錯，我
give
成
up.
身都有蟲。
Maybe this time, maybe today would be his day.
象氣斷咗，真無頭騎士。也啤流個冰都斷咗個頭。哎呀，你做咩？你放狗，你唔好搞我啦。
Sharona sighed and said, "You'll do."
要做。OK，我哋入去啦咁。佢唔通佢可以結婚啊？係咪可以結婚啊？佢？
John felt a little underdressed and a lot overwhelmed. He was surrounded by strangers, and Sharona was glaring at the muscular groom. At least John hadn't missed out on the cake. John realized that Sharona had only brought him to create some penis envy. It was a terrible plan, for so many reasons.
哇！
John got
後邊
excited,
發生咩
then
事？
ran
右
to
邊
cut the cake. He's mine! Sharona screamed as she launched herself at the newlyweds. Suddenly, penises were up and yelling, "No, he's mine!" It was a no-holds-barred cockfight.
我哋拔刀，你拔刀，你拔刀，對唔住大佬，我離開，我走啦，我走啦，我走啦，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，哇哇哇！對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，對唔住。
As John dodged flying glasses and cake, he felt a stab of envy. The groom had dozens of penises after him, and John had none. It was just wrong.
對唔住，對唔住，對唔住，走走走，即刻走！黐線㗎呢度啲人，黐鬼線㗎，係咪黐線㗎？
John John left the screams and explosions behind him. It
走
was a disastrous end to his online dating. He had tried everything, and it just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough. Maybe the bullies from school were right. Swans were so simple. If you gave them bread, they liked you. But you can't take a swan to a reunion.
哇！哇！黐線！嗷！一啲！哇！
John wanted what that groom had. Love. Real love. The kind that makes penises fight to the death.
早晨，做咩啊？嗷！我又搭巴士啊。OK。Take a shower。
Days later, the question was still bugging John. Why were so many penises in love with the groom, but no one loved John?
點解冇人中意 John 㗎？
It wasn't fair. John deserved attention. He had money and Buttstagram pics of his adventures. He even still had quite a lot of stuff. What did that penis have that John didn't?
哇！等先，搞掂。
Then it hit John. That penis was so strong and hard. That's what everyone wanted. That's what John wasn't. That's what John had to be to find love. It was time to hit the gym.
Mm. 瞓覺啦。
John arrived at his local gym. A part of him couldn't believe he was here. He just wasn't a gym penis. But John had tried everything else. If he wanted to get the perfect date, he'd need to sign up.
Ow.
Sam? What was he doing here? Of course, Sam was married. John's theory was right. If you get muscles, you get love.
If you get muscle, you get love. Okay, 收到。
Out of nowhere, Sam asked John how he was doing. Really doing. For a moment, John wanted to be honest. But he didn't come to gym to be a softie.
嚟啊！
John was here to get
做 gym 啊我哋。
It was John's first time in a gym since school. He tried not to read too much into that.
嚟我哋申請會籍先。
Sam went on ahead with a chip promise to meet up with John inside. John had two options. He could try month by month, or if he signed the 10-year Big Muscles Big Savings contract, he'd get a free easy squeezy water bottle. John wasn't a sucker. He knew the importance of hydration.
嚟攞水樽入去啦！我哋要整眼自己啦！而家入去行啦！
The gym's clean peen pool policy meant that John would have to do something he had never done before. Get naked in front of strangers. Maybe he could set a record for speediest cleanse.
嚟啦！除衫啦我哋。
Naked, John could feel the blanket of steam intimately
Yeah.
against his private parts. John pretended he was alone and not surrounded by wrinkly, wet cocks. What was John nervous about? That he would be laughed at? There was nothing funny about a naked penis.
有咩好笑？冇錯，你以為係咁，我都係咁啫嘛，冇嘢好笑噶，唔好掂我。
Very fetching, John. It even matches your taglines.
OK， 我哋去游水
Time
啊！
to conquer the pool. Sam enthusiastically greeted John and offered to show him around, obviously not realizing that John was a natural athlete. The pool was like baptism, the icy water washing away John's flabby flab. He found his stroke, gliding through the water like an eel with large, ungainly testicles. This wasn't hard. John couldn't believe Peens actually got gold medals just for splashing around. Maybe he could become an Olympian.
我哋都可以做奧運選手。佢話：但係會越游越慢嘅啦。喂！點解唔計嘅？
He was slowing down a bit, flailing a bit,
得，
but
唔緊要。
John pushed on, knowing that looking good in a Speedo was the only thing that could save him from an empty existence.
早晨啊，康帕呢木卡康帕。
John wanted to
Penis，
take a
冇
break
錯。
forever.
做咩經過嘅地方成地水？佢可能佢因為佢緊張，佢好多水，
It was a hellish
所以就
prison
係
of
咁
murderous
樣咯。
fluid determined to
早晨啦，
drown
段
him.
國
No
秀
wonder
康帕
life
康
crawled
帕，
out
早
of
晨
the
啦，
sea,
自己一個玩
desperate to
緊，
escape
冇錯啊
the
冇錯，呢個係故事模式嚟㗎。
Done.
我哋喺度訓練緊
John
做
had
一
been
條
knocked drowned,
好強、
but
好
more
大嘅、
importantly, he had
好大
not
嘅
quit.
小丁丁。
Time to hit the weight room.
你睇我哋去
John's
舉
muscles
重啦。
bunched and bulged. The time in the gym was already paying off. Fresh from conquering the pool, John felt ready for anything the gym could throw at him, even heavy metal weights. Clearly, John knew how to handle equipment.
睇下先。
Sam
Ugh.
cheered John on, as if he needed it.
我哋都做到呀！舉重啲都得，重過隔離呀！加多嚿，再加。喂，點解唔計嘅喂？
Adrenaline coursed through John's veins, his butthole clenched like a fist.
OK， 使我過嚟幫你啊！你好似好唔掂咁喎。係我哋一齊做。
John smashed the mirror. He didn't want to look at his old body. He wanted to be hard. John was forging himself into the peen he saw on movie screens, bulging and sweat-slicked, hard and shiny. Boom! John was cocked and loaded.
OK，
Didn't Sam ever get out of breath? The stream of encouragement was exhausting. John, getting flung from fast-moving objects since preschool. Like the sweet sound of spaghetti and meatballs hitting a wall. Slow and steady. That's right, John. Like a lover. Or pouring gravy.
得唔緊要，我哋做到㗎。啊
Would John ever learn? Odds are no.
OK， 非常好，我哋已經變到最大隻啦。繼續。
That had gotten John's heart rate up and his life expectancy down. John was sweating like a senator on a sex tape, but he wasn't done. John took a deep breath, clenched, and pulled. Sam made this look so easy. John squashed the thought. He'd just have to push harder. John tried to make eye contact with Sam, get in his head a bit. Sam didn't seem to notice John, but John could tell Sam was impressed. Even though he still hadn't looked at John, not that it mattered to John, because John was in the zone, deep in the zone. With the sound of a deflating truck tire, John's sphincter gave out. Sam congratulated John for trying, and told him it was okay to take things slow, as if John was going to quit. Well, he wasn't. John had a mission, and the reunion was getting closer.
呀屁，好痛，流血，痛your body。OK。我要做大隻仔，嚟呀呀呀呀呀呀！好重啊！喂喂，舉啦！你舉啦！喂，等陣先，有啲唔對路。係舉1、2、3、4、5、6、7，點解唔計嘅？哇！佢舉到嘔血啦，已經。佢舉到內出血啦，已經唔得啦，佢準備要。喂，舉咗啦 ，OK。Smash the meat，好味。喂，做嘢我哋。仲有5個星期就到啦。衝啊！衝唔上去。OK， 有水。哇！舉輕鬆，繼續。我未做嘢。有4個星期，繼續。有水。一拳超人我要做，搞掂。做嘢，繼續做嘢。哦，瞓覺啦，我哋。去左邊，去右邊，向左走，向右走。嚇！OK。 有咩？我個頭啊！我個頭啊！等先，你啲核突，擺開佢先。係啦，OK。開翻自己落。哦。OK。我唔會信你啊！Impress her。佢話我識扭波。吓？哇！你有嚟！
As soon as John woke up, the mirror called to him. His abs looked like a pack of vacuum-sealed hot dogs. Tasty. Jim had remade John into a sculpted Adongus.
我做咗3個星期，原來係我係發
It was
夢啫。
finally everything a peen should be: successful, travelled, and photogenic. It was time for his morning pre-gym workout.
喂。
The swan was starting to like John. It hadn't tried to peck his eye out in hours.
沖涼先。OK， 應該得啦。嗯？ 唔知發生咩事，唔緊要啦。嗷嗷嗷嗷嗷！喂，唔吉針，唔吉針，好痛！吹啦，
The
吹！
reunion invitation caught John's eye.
嚇！ 等先，
He read it again
再睇
and
多次。
again. Stunned. He'd gotten the
龜
date wrong.
龜龜
Very wrong.
，no no。
The reunion was tonight. Tonight!
原來係腸仔包公蟲。
They'd all be there, and they'd look at John and
究
they'd
竟
know
睇到
he
啲
was
乜嘢？
still a loser. No, there was still time.
仲有5個鐘頭
John
59
needed
分
a
鐘。
date fast. He'd have to go out. He'd have to make an impact. John had to dress his best, only better.
OK，
There had to be someone single and desperately alone in the city. Someone besides John. He just
或者
had
要
to
揾
find
個女仔，要識個女
John
仔。
went straight to the nearest bar. Sure, it was still early, but he couldn't waste any time. There must be some day drinkers he could pick up.
Ow! 喂，唔好 bully 我，黐線㗎！無啦啦俾人打。
It was a classy place, Even the vomit was high quality.
Ew, what
The
the...
bouncer looked like a hagfish that had taken up lacrosse.
Okay.
Much better.
OK， 我哋嚟啦，我哋食女仔啦。
John stepped into the bar and saw her. The answer to the question, what was John's purpose? Her. Loving her. Being with her. Taking her to the reunion. Their eyes met, and John knew she felt the same. Gladys did not feel the same. But John wasn't going to give up on their life together. A couple of drinks would
嚟啦
loosen
嚟
her
啦
up， to
我
her
哋
destiny.
請佢飲嘢先，首先識佢。嚟啊！想飲咩你講啦，我有錢。
Wow. Gladys was not an amateur when it came to drinking. John had to keep up.
OK，
It was working. Gladys was definitely warming up to John.
嚟啦嚟啦，我哋飲啦，飲啦。
John's bladder was very full. It sloshed audibly as he moved.
佢入邊啊？
He didn't belong here.
嘔人邊？哇！
Holy balls. John had never felt such relief.
要嘔啊！原來佢係 OK。我又出唔到去啦。好，對門攔咗。我哋衝入去試下可唔可以阻止我哋？冇得。OK， 走，再見。洗個
If
手先。
only John could wash off the embarrassment like he washed off the urine.
OK。
John looked around. Gladys was gone. John
Eh?
cursed his petite bladder.
問下個 bartender。
The bored bartender shrugged and told John Gladys had left because some creep was trying to get her drunk.
我哋出去。
The bar was empty. The creep must have left too. It was clear the cockpit was on autopilot. Time for John to hit the next bar.
我哋又要揾第二個啦，啱出嚟。
John's anxiety had sunk under the surface of the beer he'd drunk, while his confidence was floating high. This was the place he'd find love. It was empty, except for the bartender. Clearly this bar's only special was unhappy hour. 2 for 1 was a good deal though, and so far the beer had lifted John's spirits. Another 4 would make him feel twice as good.
OK， 咩啊？究竟睇啲片我係嗰個仲識戴帽，分唔清係嘔定係瀨尿，唔係 blender 係膀胱。哇！真係瀨尿啊！
Hammering. He had to impress her.
左加指入咩啊？左入左指 tip 就係 bartender。 你攞去啦。
What was so offensive about offering a big tip in exchange for a date? John had thought bartenders loved tips.
我哋俾人抌
He
咗出嚟
needed to find a better club, one with a vibe.
又要再揾過，死啦！究竟仲有冇時間？
John was drawn by the pulse of the music. It pulled him forward like a moth to a fiery death. John was running out of time to find a date and prove that he wasn't a loser. Dancing, the real way to flirt, the way of animals, of wild sexual creatures, John strutted and shook his booty. With booze buzzing round his head, John found himself on the dance floor. Everyone was up close and sweaty. John was exhilarated. He felt alive. John was working himself up to try a little bump and grind.
喂，OK。
It was a moment out of a movie. John alone on the dance floor with a gorgeous penis, their sexual chemistry exploding.
喂，
She moved away, coyly. John could tell when someone was playing hard to get. He let her marinate in the tension before making his move.
好啦，咦？ 喂，嚟啦，係咪有機會啦？
John wasn't taking no for an answer.
吓？
Some people have no sense of
Huh?
fun, but John was certain the next bar would be different. The next bar wasn't different.
吓？
John couldn't understand why everyone was so sensitive.
嗷！
It was like no one wanted to have a good time. Like no one had a sense of humor.
全部人都唔想。
No
哇
one had meant that as a compliment. When did the world get so uptight?
嗷！
John's ego was as bruised as his shaft. He had to admit it. He'd failed. He was where he belonged, in a creepy murder alley covered in trash. Oh, that's gross. John's misery was sour in his mouth. He needed a drink to wash it down. There was still one bar he hadn't been kicked out of yet.
仲有1個鐘頭咋，我哋要揾到女朋友。
John had cleaned himself up as much as possible. He really needed a mint. John got it in, but he needed more to satisfy the machine. John let out his anger, his frustration. Life was a shitty joke.
Okay.
It wasn't fair. You want to mess with John, do you? This is what you get. Fuck you, you fucking thing. You had one job. Die.
打爆你！
That's how you get what you want.
用蛇恰我。
Ugh, menthol.
走啊！
John wanted the strongest drink they had. Rough night? Someone asked John. He hadn't noticed her when he came in, but now he did. It really had been a rough night for John, but he felt a little better that someone cared enough to ask. It was a pity they were only sort of attractive. But destiny had given John a second chance. John made his move.
點樣明？
Unfortunately, according to Alice and to her boyfriend Chadrick, it was the wrong move.
吓？
Chadrick threw John into the alley and followed, making unoriginal but still terrifying threats.
打交。
Get him, John. I can't watch. Don't hold back. Oh my God. John.
讚我女朋友，
No,
我啊，
he'd won.
走
He'd
啦，
won. He'd won.
走啊，走啊！
And there was the proof lying in a bruised,
Laptop.
bloody heap. John didn't need a date to the reunion. He needed to go over there and beat the pre-cum out of those dicks. High school reunion, the perfect time to teach someone a lesson.
搞掂，就得。喂，又嚟，係咪打交？嚟啊！唔驚你啊！我而家
The doors of the school, a sight John had dreaded every day for years, and now he was going willingly through them, unafraid, fueled by years of unprocessed anger fermented in loneliness. John was back.
翻嚟啦！
The chickens were coming home to roost, and they were all cocks.
翻 bullies，我哋去打翻佢哋啊！而家
These were the peanuts he'd grown up with, now with jobs and marriages and beer bellies. John was surprised at how ordinary they had all turned out. He spotted them, John's tormentors. Time for
Yeah.
them to feel the wrath. Ha! Who's a loser now? Who? Pow!
打翻佢。
Dodge! Whoa! Get in there!
勇氣呀！
Ow! Don't let up! Shake off the pain, buddy. That's the stuff, John.
搞掂。
Careful.
啊！啊！
John had won. He'd won.
Yeah.
No one could say John was a loser now. John's primal joy faded as he saw how the other penises looked at him. Not like a winner, like he was trash.
冇咩嚟。
John tumbled down the steps, hitting every bruise on his length and his ego.
又嘔啦，入邊。
It was her, Harmony. She had been at the reunion.
Yo.
She'd seen it all and followed John out. To laugh at him more? No, to see if he was all right. Why did that hurt John so much? This was John's chance to ask her. Why, all those years ago, she'd said to him, "No one will ever love you." Harmony stared at John in shock. How could John not know why? Didn't John remember what he'd done?
啊，究竟我哋做過啲乜嘢啊？哇！嗰啲又嘔啦，哇！好核突。究竟我哋做過啲乜嘢冇人中意我哋？ 係蘋果嚟喎呢個。睇下先。嚇？即係點啊？即係我哋先係衰人嗰個定係點啊？有一邊我都唔記我究竟個故事劇情係講咩？我 6 hours later，
There was nothing Sam enjoyed more than the fresh air of an early morning.
我哋玩埋阿
The dew
Sam。
sparkling on the grass, the music of the trees, space.
但係可能今日差唔多啦，都今日都暫時可能係咁先啦。呢個就因為咧，我聽日要打針，所以我今日可能早少少收台，睇翻你哋啲留言先。插佢轉過頭翻嚟，連物種都變埋，死啦唔記得添，我都唔記得佢應該仲有其他劇情講緊。因為而家都講緊佢個 friend 咁樣，我哋可能下次先再繼續啦，咁就完咗一個裝先啦。係啦，因為聽日要打針同埋我聽日都要翻工同埋打針，我翻完工之後先打針，所以就都可能早少少休息。我哋下次先再推個劇情啦。如果大家都仲有興趣睇嘅話，我覺得不過雖然呢隻 game 真係好啞巴，不過就真係都好啞巴下，其實都係啦。咁就今日大家都辛苦晒，見到咁多好衝擊嘅畫面啦，咁多條狀物啦，咁都大家都辛苦晒。係啦，咁就我哋下次再見啦。辛苦晒啦，咁多位。係啦，咁就我哋可能我睇下星期四聽日個狀況點先啦。咁就睇下有可能禮拜五會開突發咯。咁就睇到好痛，冇錯，我全部都係用後邊個 pat pat 去食嘢飲嘢，全部都係 pat pat， 跟住嘔血嗰啲全部都喺前面。好啦，咁我都同大家逐個打招呼先，咁就早唞啦，木魚早唞啦，貓木早唞啦，斷角獸早唞啦，早唞啦 ，Limuka 早唞啦，幽靈律師早唞啦 ，Nathan 早唞啦 ，Cass Donny 早唞啦，離岸早唞啦，肥狗先生，咁多位 Compa 早唞啦，大家都早啲瞓啦。咁我哋睇下禮拜五可唔可以見到啦？我睇下個情況係點先啦。咁就再見啦，咁多位，拜拜，咁拜拜。 拜。